Today we're gonna go ahead and break down the beat that Metro Boomin said no to Drake. He can't be on the song after Drake recorded his verse. I can't imagine anyone saying no to Drake, but Metro did. So for this one, the tempo is 119.5 beats per minute, and it is produced by Metro Boomin, Alan Ritter, and Peter Lee Johnson. So starting off at the top, we're gonna go ahead and break down pretty much the main synth that repeats throughout the entire track. So we have the main sound. And for that sound, I'm using a preset from the Sounds of Metro Boomin kit called PD Metro Analog. And that's pretty much the main sound that loops itself throughout the entire track. Layered with that, we have this. Same pattern. For that, I'm using Logic's Alchemy, and I'm using the Gentle Signs Bell preset. Layered with that, we have this. A keys type of sound. And for that, I'm using Alchemy once again, and the preset is called Curious Hammers. Layered with all of that, I am using Logic's Retro Synth, the slow swell brass preset. And to add a little bit more movement to the sound, I'm using an instance of Duck Out on the pump mode shape 2. It kind of gives it that wavy sound that you hear in the original track. And then on the group track, I just brought in a reverb just to fill it all out. And a little bit of channel EQ just to take out some of the lows to leave room for the 808, and boosted the highs a bit. All right, moving along, we got the intro drums. All right, to start, we have the 808. Then we have the kick. And then layered with that kick, we have a scratch sort of effect. Kind of goes together with the kick. In the original track, these sounds were wide. That 808 was wide, the kick was, everything was wide. So I went ahead and added in the plugin called Wide, pulled up the spread amount, and just took out some of the low end so that there's no phase issues with the bass mono. And then just a little bit of EQ to take out some of the low end and some of the top end to make it more of like a warmer type of sound. Moving on to the next section, we have this synth over here. And for that sound, I'm using Logic's Alchemy, and I'm using the wavy analog synth piano. So everything else stays the same. We're gonna move on into the next section over here, and we get this. Now for that giant sound, I am using a preset in Logic. You can find it under Legacy, Logic, Synthesizers, Synth Strings, Synth String Ensemble, and I adjusted it a little bit. I just added in my own reverb over here and added in a little bit of chorus just to widen it up. Then moving on in the track, we get introduced to an entire new set of drums. To start, we have the kick. We have the snare. We have an open hat. We have a hi-hat. And we have this little laser sound right before the sections break. And together with everything, it sounds like this. All right, so for this section, we get this bell sound. So for that sound, I'm using Logic's Sculpture, underrated plugin in my opinion. I'm using the Angel Bells preset, but I did adjust that preset quite a bit. This is what it looks like if you want to copy my settings. Just put in a little bit of EQ and a little bit of reverb just to shape that sound. And then layered with that, we get this bass sound that was happening in the low frequencies. Is kind of interesting and cool. The clicks are there on purpose if you're listening to it on headphones. The sound I use for this one is, or can be found under Synthesizer, Bass, Alphabet City, Boundless Bass. And kind of interesting what they did on this sound. First, I added an instance of duck out to get some movement into it. Otherwise it would sound like that. Then I added in some fat effects just to give it some buzziness to it, with the distortion module over here. And then lastly, there was some panning happening on the sound as well as it played out. So I went ahead and adjusted the MIDI pan over here, and it kind of goes from left to right as it plays back. All right, moving along in the arrangement, we get another set of drums. So we get an 808, the same 808 as before, except not filtered out. And once again, some crazy panning happening on the bass. So the 808 goes from the right to the left at the end of the pattern. So I just used the MIDI pan feature here and just automated that. And then we have ourselves the classic Metro chant. We also have a crash. And we have this gun that brings us into the next section. And all together, it sounds like this. I should also mention that the synth strings over here does change up. It looks like this, the pattern. And that's pretty much the beat right there. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And listen to the beat that we just broke down, Metro Boomin's Trance. Alright, so that's the beat right there, Metro Boomin's Trance. For you Logic users out there, I'm going to go ahead and save this entire session for you guys, place it as a downloadable link below this video. If you don't use Logic, I got your back as well. I'm going to go export all the MIDI stems, audio stems, and of course include the drum kit used in this remake. You can find that playback down below the like button as well. If you do have any questions on this or just want to chat, let's go and talk in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later. Peace.